In a bustling railway station, a beggar sat in the same corner every day, extending his hand for alms. His clothes were tattered. His face bore the marks of hardship, and his days passed in hopelessness. Few people acknowledged him, and even fewer offered him money. One day, a wise monk, passing through the station to catch his train, noticed the beggar. As was his habit, the beggar extended his hand and asked for alms. The monk paused, his eyes filled with curiosity and compassion. Instead of handing him money immediately, the monk asked, "My friend, why don't you try to earn a living instead of begging?" The beggar scoffed. "Please don't mock me," he said. "I have no money, no skills, and no way to start work. That's why I beg." The monk nodded thoughtfully and asked, "How much do you earn from begging?" "Not much," the beggar replied bitterly. "People rarely give me anything. They are heartless." The monk knelt beside him and said, "People don't give you anything because you don't give anything in return. If you want others to give to you, you must offer them something. And always remember, life is about progress. Don't remain stagnant. Keep moving forward, no matter how small the step." With that, the monk placed a few coins in the beggar's hat, smiled kindly, and walked away. The beggar sat there, pondering the monk's words. Give something in return? He thought, what could I possibly give? Just then, his eyes fell upon some wildflowers growing near the railway tracks. An idea sparked in his mind. He got up, plucked a handful of the flowers, and decided that from now on, whenever someone gave him alms, he would offer them a flower in return. The next day, he put his plan into action. To his surprise, people smiled when they received the flowers. Some even gave him more money than before. For the first time in years, the beggar felt a sense of joy and dignity. Days turned into weeks, and the beggar's simple act of giving started to attract attention. More people stopped to give him alms, charmed by the small gift of flowers. Soon, he had saved enough money to consider a future beyond begging. One day, the monk's words echoed in his ears again. Keep progressing in your life. Don't remain stagnant. Determined to continue moving forward, he went to the market and used his savings to purchase beautiful flowers. Instead of begging, he began making and selling flower bouquets to travelers. People happily bought his bouquets, and his small business started to flourish. Each day, as he sat at his flower stall, he reflected on the monk's wisdom. Soon, his business expanded beyond the railway station. He rented a small shop and began supplying flowers to various events. His reputation grew, and his earnings multiplied. The once hopeless beggar had transformed into a successful businessman. Months later, the same monk was traveling through the region again. As his train stopped at a station, a well-dressed gentleman in a tailored suit entered the compartment and sat in front of him. The man's face lit up when he saw the monk. Rising from his seat, he bowed deeply and smiled. "Master," the man said respectfully, "do you remember me?" The monk looked at him carefully, but could not recall who he was. "I'm sorry, my friend, but I don't think we have met before." The man chuckled. "A year ago, I was sitting at this railway station as a beggar. You stopped me and gave me advice that changed my life." The monk's eyes widened with curiosity as the man continued. "You told me to give something in return and to never stay stagnant in life. Your words stayed with me. After you left, I started giving wildflowers to people who gave me alms, and soon I began earning more. With that money, I bought flowers and started selling them instead of begging. Over time, my business grew, and today, I am the largest flower merchant in the city." Then he added, "It is all because of your wisdom that I am here today." The monk smiled warmly, his eyes filled with pride. "That's wonderful, my friend," he said. "But I only pointed you the way. It was your determination, your hard work, and your willingness to move forward that made all the difference." With a gentle smile, the monk placed a hand on the man's shoulder and said, "The journey of life is long. Always remember, progress is infinite. Keep moving forward no matter what." Even the smallest steps can lead to unimaginable success. The story of the beggar who became a successful businessman teaches us a profound truth. Progress begins when we focus on what we have instead of what we lack. Often, we feel stuck because we believe we don't have enough resources, skills, or opportunities. But this story reminds us that even the smallest step in the right direction can lead to a significant change. Above all, it reveals a powerful lesson. If you change your thinking, you can change your life. At first, the beggar thought like a beggar, believing he had nothing to offer and no way to improve his situation. But once he started thinking like a businessman, he saw value in what he could give, even if it was just a wildflower. That shift in mindset transformed him into a successful entrepreneur. Similarly, in our lives, the way we think shapes the way we act and ultimately determines what we achieve. The monk's advice to never remain stagnant holds true for all of us. Life is like a flowing river. When it moves, it stays fresh and full of purpose. But when it becomes stagnant, it turns stale and loses its value. If we stop progressing in life, whether in work, relationships, or personal growth, we risk losing our sense of purpose. But if we embrace the idea of continuous progress, we open ourselves to limitless possibilities. This story inspires us to shift our mindset, embrace challenges, and take consistent steps toward our goals. The smallest action, the simplest idea, or the most humble beginning can lead to something extraordinary. Always remember, life is about progress. Keep moving, keep growing, and never stop striving for a better tomorrow.